What's up, guys? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Wrestling, and here's my review for the March 4th episodes of AEW Rampage and WWE Smackdown. Like, share, comment, subscribe to House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian Colon, at Dedrian180 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Let me tell you, tonight was a fun, decent wrestling night. Both companies, both WWE and AEW, really did a good job of catering to their audience and pushing, in WWE's case, really promoting I believe it's the MSG show with Brock Lesnar defending against someone. They haven't announced who his opponent is. And AEW promoting the pay-per-view this Sunday, AEW Revolution. Kudos to them. They did a really good job of pushing that. If you're a WWE fan, again, they did a really good job catering to you. If you're an AEW fan, they did a really good job of catering to you. If you're a pro wrestling fan who loves all these pro wrestling companies, like myself, I enjoyed it. Starting off with AEW Rampage, I got to tell you, this first match, Darby Allin, Andrade Idolo, and Sammy Gavarro, I recommend you guys watch this match. I'm not going to try to describe all the moves that they did. I will tell you this. This match it's one of those matches where you just want to sit down, relax, and if your buddy has a question of, hey, what's this AEW thing? This is the match to show them. Yes, this is the match to show them. There's a part of the match where Sammy Gavarro is on Andrade El Idolo's shoulders, where Andrade El Idolo is trying to perform a powerbomb, and Darby Allin is in the position where Sammy Gavarro is attempting to suplex him. So you have Sammy Gavarro having Darby Allin like this, and then you have Andrade Idolo like this, trying to powerbomb both of them, and he does it, and that was a cool spot. Thankfully, Darby Allin's back didn't go like that or anything like that, but that was a cool spot of the match. It was a really good paced match where they went, they had their they were going fast, and then they'd slow it down. Then Darby got his stuff in, Sammy got his stuff in, Andrade got his stuff in. But in the end, and actually, now that I think about it, there was another cool spot where Darby had Andrade Idolo upside down in the corner, and Sammy's in the opposite corner alongside this corner, and Darby sees Sammy, and he tries to shoulder block him. He goes through, or I would say underneath the ring. The camera didn't get it, but Sammy Gavarro performed at coast to coast, similar to what Shane McMahon is known for. But Sammy Gavarro did it, and he did it. Man, that was perfect. Like, just boom, right on the spot. That was a really cool spot. But in the end, Sammy Gavarro, he retains the TNT championship. Next week, it's interesting that this happened, and then right after, actually, was it right after? Actually, after the next promo set. I'm jumping the gun here. But yeah, Sammy Gavarro, he is going to be defending the TNT championship next week on Dynamite against, I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But after this match, you had a promo with Pac, Penta, Alex, Alejandro, I forgot to pronounce his name. Alex Alejandro. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his name. It's kind of cheesy because we've seen him so much doing like the pre-shows and stuff like that, and he's in like this wardrobe, he has his makeup, he's giving these promos, and it's like, I liked the stuff before when he was with Penta Fox, or Penta Phoenix, and Pac. Like, I really like that stuff, but this stuff here is like coming across a little bit like it's a little bit on the cheesy side, especially with the wardrobe and everything. I understand that they want to present him dark. I would honestly just put him in a black suit. That's all you got to do. Just put him in a black suit and just have him give this thing, but he has like this dark clergy, almost like the Ministry of Darkness, almost. And they're talking. House of Black appears on the screen. They're saying their words back and forth. Then you get the House of Black appearing on the ring apron. And Alex goes to all three members of House of Black. He's like, I didn't necessarily say it was going to be us three that were going to face you. And then the music hits. The Titantron has the graphics. And lo and behold, it's Eric Redbeard, formerly of the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan. Pretty interesting. I believe this match is going to happen at AEW Revolution. See where this goes. It was surprising. It was shocking. It's like, okay. Me personally, as an AEW fan, I don't feel like, they're signing too many people, or this doesn't make any sense. It is what it is. All right, you bring them in. I love this stuff in WWE with the Wyatt family. Let's just see how this match goes. Hey, you got Brody King, you got Malachi Black, you got Buddy Matthews, you got Pac, you got Penta. It's gonna be a fun match. So apparently it is happening Sunday. So we'll see what happens. But man, it looks fun. I mean, it is what it is. So after this, you had Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky in a backstage promo. And thankfully, Dan Lambert didn't talk too much. He really got to the point. I like when Dan Lambert is used like this, where it's backstage segments. When it's in front of a live crowd, he can tend to kind of almost repeat himself, and like just the promo goes in weird directions, and then it comes back where that's why, for me, that's why it kind of feels like it's like his promos don't like correlate, like connect, and it's just like, you know what? It is what it is. But no, this promo was pretty good. So it was announced, and Tony Khan tweeted, Scorpio Sky would be facing the winner of the triple threat, or the three-way TNT Championship match between Sammy Gavarro, Darby Allin, and Andrade. And of course, we know Sammy Gavarro won. So we're going to get Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Gavarro this Wednesday on Dynamite. I hope Scorpio Sky wins. That's just me. I hope he wins. Also, Dan Lambert mentioned that Paige Van Zant is going to be at Revolution, AEW Revolution, to sign an AEW contract. So apparently, Paige Van Zant, popular MMA fighter, is joining All Elite. So this is going to be pretty cool. She does have a tremendous following and crossover appeal from the MMA world. So this is another, okay, this is interesting. I know a lot of people don't like it all. They're signing too many people. And look, after what happened Wednesday with the announcement of Ring of Honor and Tony Khan owning it, you kind of need people to fill out the Ring of Honor side. But the bigger question is, who's going to run it? I'm joking. After that, you had a match between Keith Lee and JD Drake. Oh my God, this was a big... Man, these guys were going at it, man. Like, whoo-wee. There's a spot where JD Drake is on the top of the turnbuckle, and he tries to do a cross body splash, and Keith Lee catches this dude. He doesn't stumble or anything. He just catches him. He stands his ground, and he's just poof. And it's like, whoa. And then Keith Lee proceeds to squat down and hold him in a squat position for maybe a minute and 30. And if you're watching, you're like, yo, is he struggling with them or what? And the crowd, they're just like, whoa, this is insane. Like, is this, like, what is this dude? Like, what is this dude? Like, yo. It was impressive. I gotta say, that was very impressive. Man, Keith Lee is a bad man. And what he wound up doing in that move, he squatted with JD Drake. He held him there for a while. He picks him up, gorilla presses him, and then he swings him over to his finisher, 1, 2, 3. And that was I hope Keith Lee wins this freaking AEW Revolution, Face the Revolution ladder match. A lot of AEW Revolution, all that other stuff. Forgive me, people who are watching this review. But yeah, I hope Keith Lee wins. He should win because he just debuted. It would kind of not help him in a way that it should if he doesn't win, because it's kind of like counterproductive. But let's see what happens Sunday. From there, you get a backstage promo with CM Punk from this past Dynamite, and this promo felt like one of these CM Punk promos he gave back in Ring of Honor when he had his feud with Raven, and where he was bloody and he was just like, "You're gonna see another side of me. I am going to go crazy on destroying you." I look forward to this dog collar match between CM Punk and MJF. Ooh boy, this is going to be a good one. This whole pay-per-view is going to be stacked. Then after that, you had a backstage segment with Jade Cargill and Tony Schiavone. They're talking. Anna Jay interrupts, and Jade Cargill's like, "Okay, what is this? What is this?" Tay Conti, she kicked the hell out of Jade Cargill. And one thing I do like what AEW's doing is they're giving the women's division a little bit more grit, where it isn't, "Hey, I'm happy to be here, oh my God, what is this, what is that?" Like, they're getting some feistiness and some intensity that's just like, man, this is pretty gritty, man. Like, yo, these women about to throw down. And Jade Cargill got up, so that match is going to be interesting. I would anticipate it being a squash match because, let's face it, you don't want to piss off Jade Cargill, especially at her size and speed, and she's growing in the ring as far as experience. Like, do you really want to piss her off? No, you don't. From there, you have the Serena Deeb 5-minute challenge, the School of Deeb, whatever that is, and she's facing Layla Gray. Layla Gray actually did something smart that none of these people, the challengers, did before. And she just kept on running around the ring for the time to expire. And eventually, Serena Deeb got her, pulled outside, beat her up. And she's just beating her up. And then all of a sudden, familiar music hits. Hikaru Shida. Shida is back. And man, she came with a kendo stick. And she was beating the crap out of Serena Deeb. And I mean beating the crap out of her. So yes, Hikaru Shida is back in AEW. I like it. I like that there's another example of AEW giving their women's division a little bit more intensity, a little bit more aggressiveness, feistiness, where it's like, okay, we're fighting. We're competing for something. Like, we got to show, hey, we mean business. From there, you get a backstage segment with Eddie Kingston. And man, this was a funny segment. He pretty much talked about Chris Jericho. And then at the end, he ends it with Tony Schiavone. "Hey, man, they got a peanut butter pie or dessert or something. And let's go into catering." So that was pretty funny. And then the main event, you had Christian and Ethan Page. The winner advances to the Face the Revolution ladder match at AEW Revolution. And this was a pretty cool match. I'm surprised. It's kind of backwards. Like, they should have started with this one and then had Sammy and Darby and Andrade main event, because that's what it felt like. But, of course, AEW Rampage is kind of booked like the old Saturday night main events in the 80s, where they would have the main event start off to keep the viewers in and then go from there. This was a solid match. I was surprised that Christian won. I wanted Ethan Page to win, but it is what it is. And it actually makes sense that they did have Christian in the match. I know a lot of fans will be like, "Ethan Page deserves to be in there. They're not doing this. They're not doing that." Well, here's the thing. You got to look at the participants in the Face the Revolution ladder match. You have Keith Lee. You have Wardlow. You have Powerhouse Hobbs. You have Orange Cassidy. You have Ricky Starks. And then you're going to have Christian. You need someone there who has experience with these ladder matches, and who better to put a guy in a match where you're going to be using all these ladders and you know all these participants going to be in there. Let's face it, he was in the first Money in the Bank match. If I remember correctly, he was. I know he was in at least a few Money in the Bank matches. So you need someone there that can have this match go smoothly the way it is. And that's a perfect guy. It makes sense. But I do want to see Ethan Page used better than what he is now, and used more. There we go. Use more, because you got talent, man. Use it. But yeah, that was AEW Rampage. Again, a fun show for AEW fans going into AEW Revolution. It's a solid show. It's a stacked show. Again, they did a really good job of just adding more layers to stories going into AEW Revolution. I didn't get a chance to see was it the countdown or review or something that they had afterwards? But it is what it is. So going into SmackDown, I give WWE credit for this. They started SmackDown off with something that I personally haven't seen since the old Saturday Night Main Event days from like 1980. You can say from the first Saturday Night's Main Event to like 89 or something, or 90 when they were on NBC. And what I mean by that is the show started, of course, with the "Are you ready?" Boom, 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 boom. And then it went to Paul Heyman. So he's talking about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Then it went to Ronda Rousey, and it's talking about her match with Sonya Deville, and of course, everything leading up to WrestleMania. Then it goes into Sonya Deville. She's talking about Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair and that whole thing. Then it goes to the Viking Raiders and their match with the Usos later in the episode of SmackDown. And then it goes to the Usos, and they're talking about the Viking Raiders and their match later on SmackDown. And then it goes to Ricochet, and he's talking about his match against Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked it. It was something different. It wasn't your typical over-the-top dramatic backstage segment or music hits and promo in the ring. It was just something cool, different. I would like to see WWE use this more. Actually do it for both shows, SmackDown and Raw. That was fun. So we get to a promo with Sami Zayn, and of course he's talking about, Johnny Knoxville and this whole thing. And then we get a match, Sammy Gavarro and Ricochet. This was really, really good match. I do got to say, WWE and AEW tonight knocked it out of the park with their opening matches. Both were fun matches to watch and to be entertained. It was a joy to watch it. And Ricochet is the new Intercontinental Champion. He defeated Sami Zayn by the distraction of Johnny Knoxville, which I was kind of like, okay, another distraction finish. But I'm like, okay, Ricochet does get the Intercontinental Champion, so it's like, all right, I'll take it. From there, you get a backstage segment of Sami Zayn. He's throwing everything down. He's throwing chairs, tables, knocking stuff over. He's like, I've been screwed. I'm going to get you, Johnny Knoxville. And you know what? I'll meet you at Dallas at WrestleMania. So apparently, we're getting Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. It is what it is. From there, you get... Oh, boy. So they talk about Pat McAfee and his interview with Vince McMahon and how it was cool and how Vince McMahon offered him a match at WrestleMania. And, of course, the speculation was running rampant. It's like, okay, is it going to be Cody Rhodes? Is it going to be Austin Theory? Is it going to be Corey Graves? Is it going to be Shane McMahon? All this whole thing. And we got our answer. Austin Theory's music hits, and he confronts Pat McAfee. He tells him, you know what? I'm going to face you at WrestleMania. And then he smacks him and walks away. That was the segment. That's the paraphrase version that I'm giving you. You got to go back and watch it. Of course, he said stuff, but it was okay. I kind of sensed that it was going to be Austin Theory, especially with everything that led up to that they've been doing with Austin Theory and Vince McMahon the past 2 months, or no, 3 months, maybe a little bit after Survivor Series, that Vince started this whole backstage segments with Austin Theory. Yeah, it was that. There you go, because Austin Theory stole the egg. Yeah, I had to think about that. So yeah, back in December. So from there, you had the match between Naomi with Sasha Banks versus Carmella with Selena Vega. I think one of the awkward things about tonight's SmackDown was like this match was like really short, especially with all four participants. You can tell that they're heavily going into the women's tag team titles. So honestly, I think this might be on one of the nights of WrestleMania. We might get Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Carmella and Zelina Vega for their tag team championships, which I believe Sasha Banks would be one of the first to win both titles and the women's tag team titles, and I believe she was the NXT women's champion. Forgive me, those of you watching the video, forgive me if I got this wrong, but it'll be a pretty cool accomplishment if Sasha Banks does that, and if that happens at WrestleMania, that these two teams meet at WrestleMania. Then from there, we get a backstage segment with Happy Moss, Happy Corbin, and what the hell? Madcap Moss. I forgot his name. Oh God. It's not him. It's the way they're using him. So it's those two with a bunch of their friends. They're playing poker and everything. They're talking about Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre goes to the ring, and I don't know. I just want this whole Happy Corbin thing to be over with. You know, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss. Like this whole thing is just, it's cringe. Like, I don't want to say cringe, but it's just like these guys should be doing more than this. Like, this is okay. It's cool now, but like they're too talented in the ring to not be doing something more. Like Baron Corbin, nobody's kicked out of his finisher since he's been on the main roster. Like, how is that not a major emphasis on your storylines? But yet he has this like this golf club resort persona, and it's like, come on, man, give the man his due. So from there, we get a match between Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. Drew McIntyre wins, and I'm kind of disappointed that they put these two together, considering like the mad history that Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal have, going back to 3-Minute Ban, how they left, came back, and just got ripped, and both became world title. Like, I feel WWE's dropped the ball on a potential intriguing angle between Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. The match was okay, but that's how I personally feel. Like, that's a feud that could be like solid on either Raw or SmackDown, and it's kind of like they're like, I don't want to say neglecting it, but they're just like ignoring it, like something that's like there. They don't even have to do much. Like, their history just tells the story. You just have to put them out there and just let them, you know, put arms and legs on the story and let it grow. From there, we get a recap of Lesnar and Reigns. The Usos attack Shinsuke and Boogs. Roman Reigns comes out. Basically, his promo was saying, in his promo, he was saying that he's just going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He recalls what he said last year, that he was going to stack him. He was going to beat him, stack him, pin him, and walk out of WrestleMania. He's going to do the same to Brock Lesnar. Let's see what happens. Then, as he finishes that promo, the Usos are still in the ring. They wrestle the Viking Raiders. This was a pretty cool tag team match. I liked it because there were moments where you're like, oh crap, the Viking Raiders might actually win the titles. Like, they might actually be champions. Like, this looks pretty cool. But the Usos win. But yeah, that was a pretty cool match. Outside of the Sami Zayn Ricochet match, like the Viking Raiders and Usos match was a really cool match. I recommend you guys go back and watch it. It was a fun match. From there, we get Big E and Sheamus. Yeah. We get Big E and Sheamus. They recall back last week of Big E on his ATV with Kofi Kingston, and Sheamus and Ridge Holland are like picking on him and everything, and making fun of him. So we get this match. Yeah, I'm going to say it like I always have been saying on these reviews. So when is Big E going to get his rematch for the WWE Championship? Just saying. And I know many are like, whoa, he wasn't good. But come on, man. Like, we can't ignore he was just champion and they just took him out of the main event picture, immediately after the match. It doesn't make sense because you're gonna have Bobby Lashley out for at least 4 to 5 months or something like that. And Big E was one of those major players when Bobby Lashley was going for the title, and now he's out of the picture. So you just have Brock and Roman. Okay. But yeah, this match was okay. And then afterwards, you have Sheamus and Ridge Holland destroying the bike, which I tweeted. I'm like, wasn't last year Drew McIntyre have a motorcycle and Sheamus and Ridge Holland beat him up? Didn't WWE Mattel come up with the actual action figure of Drew McIntyre on a motorcycle, and that's why they did it. So yeah, they kind of like a repeat storyline that they did right there. But yeah, the whole Big E, I don't know, man. It's disappointing because you've seen on the graphics, New Day and Kofi Kingston. It's kind of like they're what do I put it? How do I say it? They're in a weird way, it's like they're kind of like nostalgia acts right now. And that's sad because Big E was literally the WWE champion 3 months ago, and in 3 months he goes from WWE champion, main eventing day one, to back to being the tag team with Kofi Kingston against Sheamus in basically a lower mid-card feud. That's bad. From there, we got a backstage segment with Johnny Knoxville, and it's basically telling Sami Zayn, he's like, look, I've put my body through so much, and you don't scare me, so yeah, I'll see you at WrestleMania. Then we get another backstage segment with Happy Moss and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre comes in with his sword. I am getting not so much annoyed, but it's like, okay, what's the reason? Why does Drew McIntyre need to carry around this sword, which technically is a deadly weapon? How is anyone not getting a lawyer like, hey, this is a deadly weapon. He should not be walking around here. It's a danger. It's a hazard. Why is he doing this? And I tweeted, Drew McIntyre reminds me of a wrestling version of He-Man by the power of Grayskull. So there you go. But yeah, the backstage segment, it was just like, okay, the whole thing with Drew McIntyre, Madcap Moss, and Happy Corbin, is just you just want it to be over with. Can we move on from this? These guys are too talented to be doing this. Move it along. From there, we get a recap of Charlotte and Ronda Rousey last week. And then, of course, the main event is Ronda Rousey's first match on SmackDown against Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville taps out. Charlotte comes in. Ronda counters it, and she has her in the ankle lock. And that's how the show finishes. So, yeah, that was SmackDown. That was AEW Rampage. And again, I got to tell you, it's fun watching two wrestling programs give you a fun night of wrestling. Again, it wasn't perfect. There could have been a few things that both these shows could have tweaked, could have reversed and just added, took away and stuff like that. But again, it's professional wrestling. That's just how it is sometimes. But no, I enjoyed both shows. I liked it. Again, my matches that I recommend you guys seeing is the Sammy Zayn Ricochet match, the Sammy Guevara Darby Allin Andrade Idolo match, the Usos Viking Raiders match, I'm trying to think of the other match, the Keith Lee JD Drake match. That was pretty dope. You have to see Keith Lee freaking squat JD Drake. And if you don't know who JD Drake is, he has to be over 200 pounds. And Keith Lee just squatted him, gorilla pressed him, and then that was amazing. But yeah, it was a fun night. Again, WWE did a really good job of promoting their Madison Square Garden show tomorrow. AEW did a really good job of promoting and adding more layers to stories going to AEW Revolution. And hey, in the end, the fans win. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen at Revolution, and I'm really interested to see what's going to transpire with the whole Brock Lesnar. He doesn't have an opponent there. Looking forward to seeing what happens there. But hey, it's wrestling. It's fun. There's enough wrestling for us to watch to not be bored, but it is what it is. But thank you guys. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe to House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you guys so much. All the new subscribers and comments and things like that. Thank you for the feedback and everything. Again, pro wrestling is subjective. What I may like, you may not like, and what you like, I may not be into. But in the end, hey, it is what it is. Hey, it's entertainment. That's what it is. So with that, like I always say, don't fight over wrestling. Like, stop fighting over wrestling, man. Just enjoy it, man. You got like 8 companies you could choose to enjoy wrestling, man. Just enjoy it, man. All right? It's a fun time, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. We do need a little bit of an escape from just what we're dealing with. All right? So with that being said, I will see you next time.